Every man looks at a woman's body, yet, interestingly, very few truly understand it. You may focus on her chest, but only notice its size. You cannot see the love she holds or her desire for independence. You look at her lips, but only examine their shape. You fail to perceive her relationship with pleasure. You watch her hips, following their curve, yet you cannot see her inner hunter or protector side. Most men glance superficially, but an experienced one can easily read a woman's body because it always reflects the truth. Today, we will solve this mystery. We will learn 6 key elements of a woman's physical features. These will reveal her character, nature, and true desires. And yes, we will reach the most critical part, the most genuine, sincere message her body sends. Many men misinterpret this message. We will learn to read it correctly. Also, we will answer the question asked in the video: what does it really mean when it's tight? Believe me, it has nothing to do with anatomy or past experiences. It is entirely about how she feels with you and by your side. This knowledge will become your best lie detector, and I will ultimately share it with you. But I can only share it with those who are truly open-minded. Before we begin, I have a small request. To show that this topic matters to you, hit the like button. If you are here for a deep exploration, subscribe, because we do not deal with ordinary things here. Also, it would be nice if you share your city in the comments, so we know where you come from. Now, the first feature, hips. Hips are where men's eyes fall first, even if they don't realize it. It is not just a body part, but a deeply rooted symbol created by millions of years of evolution. Before Carl Jung formulated the archetype theory, nature had already created 2 basic female archetypes that men can read from a woman's hips: the protector archetype and the hunter archetype. A woman with wide, round hips is the true representation of the protector archetype. When a man sees fertility, health, security, and stability through her, it sends a subconscious message. It is a genetic memory that says, here is a safe place, continuity thrives here, this is home. Physiologically, high estrogen levels give this shape, laying the groundwork for motherhood. But we should look at the psychological side. What kind of life does this woman lead? The protective woman is usually calm, realistic, and grounded. Her inner energy is focused not on the world's battles, but on creating peace, harmony, and security. She values comfort, predictability, and financial stability. She does not need emotional turbulence in relationships. She seeks solid support. With a man who provides trust, she can be a wonderful homemaker, a caring mother, and a loyal partner. Her philosophy is, home is my kingdom. Yet men often move in the wrong direction, constantly trying to push her out of her comfort zone, suggesting risky adventures, saying, live in the moment. They don't realize this is not romantic for her. It creates anxiety. Her love emerges not in moments of intense passion, but through consistent daily attention. Provide her with stability, show your intentions are serious, build that structure, and you will gain a partner who is the most loyal and grateful you could imagine. She will be your background support, and it is important to value and protect this support. The second pole, narrow hips. This is an allegedly masculine or androgynous structure, representing the hunter model. While the protective woman is earth and stability, the hunter woman is wind and motion. This body type usually arises with higher androgen levels. Psychologically, it makes her dynamic, sharp, and risk-taking. A man perceives this woman not as the mother of offspring, but as an interesting competitor or a valuable prize. She is independent, active, and ambitious. Career, sports, or creative pursuits are her focus. Freedom is more valuable than comfort, growth more important than stability. In a relationship, she seeks a partner to explore the world with. She does not accept control, overprotection, or attempts to trap her. Her motto, movement is life. Trying to domesticate her or turn her into a protector is like putting an eagle among chickens. It only brings conflict and eventual separation. You must speak her language. Talk about goals, achievements, and shared adventures. Be the wall that supports her yet the wings that lift her higher. Give her freedom, support her ambitions, and you will gain not just a woman, but a powerful partner, a source of energy and inspiration for both sides. Remember, no type is better or worse than the other. The goal is not to change her, but to understand which type she is and align with her in the best way. The shape of her hips is the most fundamental and sincere clue. Yet this is only the outward appearance. We will fill in more detailed and intimate insights as we approach her real secret. Feature 2, the chest, the compass of emotions. The next key draws at least as much instinctual interest in men as it does visual, the chest. But here, it is not about aesthetics, it is about essence. If hips show life strategy, the chest reflects her emotional world and how she interacts with her partner. The size and shape of the chest depend on hormonal balance, especially estrogen and prolactin. This balance determines the personal psychological profile. Let's start with small, neat, or athletic breasts. Many men overlook these while praising larger breasts, but this is mistaken. Small breasts indicate a more androgenic hormonal balance. Psychologically, such a woman is analytical and intellectual. Emotions matter, but they don't overwhelm her. Logic, facts, and above all, deep spiritual connection matter. She doesn't overreact to trivial things. In relationships, partnership, friendship, and shared interests are central. Physical closeness is not just carnal passion, it continues a mental and spiritual bond. She falls in love through intellect. The key is your mind, humor, and personality. Expensive gifts or status symbols are wasted effort. Converse, listen, and open your inner world. If you become the most interesting conversational partner, she will become the most loyal lover. This type of woman chooses humans, not men, and a long, happy relationship is built on that foundation. On the other side, large and full breasts indicate high estrogen and classic femininity. Men perceive this as a sign of health, fertility, and child-rearing ability. The deeper psychological significance lies in her emotional depth. Her emotional world is rich, vibrant, and changeable. She feeds on her feelings. She can be tender and nurturing one moment, then fragile and in need of protection the next. These behaviors are not whims, they are part of her nature. Showing love is extremely important. She wants to be protected, nurtured, and healed. She becomes the most compassionate and understanding partner but expects the same attention in return. Affection, loving words, validation of her worth, and emotional security are crucial. The biggest mistake a man makes is trying to reason with her during emotional moments. This only fuels the fire. She needs compassion and acceptance, not logic. Hug her, express your love, and after the storm passes, discuss calmly. She falls in love with her heart. Offer the highest level of affection, attention, and security, and you turn her life into the world's most comfortable and warm place. Medium-sized, firm breasts usually symbolize balance, between hormones, logic, and emotions, motherhood, and partnership instincts. Such a woman is generally harmonious. Emotional but not overwhelmed by feelings, she can be a passionate lover, loyal friend, and reliable partner. Even in balance, there is always a slight leaning that you must sense. The chest is not merely an object of desire, it is a reflection of her emotional system. Understanding this prevents expecting passion from a rational woman or coldness from an emotional one. You learn to speak her language, and this is half the path to her heart. Feature 3, Voice, the indicator of hidden desire. We have examined visual signals, now we address auditory ones. Focus not on what she says, but how she says it. Men often get caught up in words, ignoring tone, rhythm, and vibration. Yet the voice directly conveys sexuality and life energy. Her voice can reveal her character before you know her. A high, light, or melodic voice reflects youthfulness, playfulness, and a desire for protection. Though an adult, she carries a little girl within. Be gentle, give reassurance, and avoid harshness, it creates fear and rejection. A low, deep, velvety voice exudes power and confidence. Such a woman is aware of her sexual energy and unafraid of it. She seeks an equal or challenging partner, not a protective one. Empty compliments are ineffective, actions and character matter. Hesitation is seen as weakness. Engage in playful mental sparring, stay one step ahead, and show depth. Respecting her power satisfies both her desire and intellect. Feature 4, Lips, the gateway to sensuality. Lips are the most erotic and expressive part of the face. In psychoanalysis, lips are linked to pleasure and sexuality. Full, prominent lips indicate high estrogen and good circulation. Psychologically, she is hedonistic, loving life and pleasure, food, music, touch, and scents shape her world. She is outgoing and enjoys the process, not just the outcome. Thin or tight lips indicate a more reserved, controlled nature. Not emotionless, just less expressive. Understanding these dominant traits helps you know what matters to her, pleasure or function, words or actions. Feature 5, Scent. This is the oldest and most honest signal of shared choice. Not perfume, but natural scent, her skin, hair, post-sleep or post-shower aroma. This is unimitable, you either accept it or you don't. Science calls it pheromones, a complex immune signaling mechanism. Genetically, we are naturally drawn to those most different from ourselves. If you are captivated by her natural scent, drawing her close to breathe it in, congratulations, you have earned a genetic reward. This logic bypasses social norms and reasoning. If her scent feels artificial, rely less on eyes or logic, nature has already made its judgment. Feature 6, Tightness. This is the best lie detector. First, let's dispel a myth: tightness or looseness has nothing to do with anatomy or past partners. It usually has little to do with the past. It is entirely about how she feels with you. Tightness is not fixed, it is dynamic. It signals excitement and trust. Both must be present. Muscles respond via the autonomic nervous system, not voluntary control, like heartbeat acceleration or pupil dilation. Maximum sexual arousal plus full trust equals tightness. If looseness is sensed, a naive man may assume, too experienced. A wise man asks instead, what am I doing wrong? Looseness often signals fear, anxiety, or psychological blocks. The solution: blame no one, responsibility is yours. You conduct the orchestra, you create the music. Your attention, love, and care can increase tightness, neglect or harshness can reduce it to zero. Do not dismiss her body, treat it as your most honest communication partner. Conclusion: from a simple glance to expert observation. Today we learned, the shape of the hips expresses life strategy, chest size reflects emotional world. Voice reveals desire for protection or challenge. Lips and fingers indicate pleasure and life perspective. Natural scent shows nature's approval in compatibility. And the most intimate bodily response is not anatomical, it reflects her attitude toward you. These 6 keys turn you from someone who merely looks at a woman's body into a skilled reader. Leave judgment behind. The body is your most honest communication partner, it does not lie. It waits for you to learn its language. And now the most important question: based on these 6 keys and insights, what has your experience been? Have the silent messages from a woman's body conveyed more than words? Did your experiences confirm what we discussed today, or contradict it? Share your story in the comments, and let's build a true encyclopedia of male wisdom. Now, let's take a closer look at how the 6 fundamental elements we've learned can be applied in daily life and real interactions. There's an important truth you'll notice here: the female body is not just a physical entity, it's a language, a system of communication. Every movement, every gesture, every glance, and every breath carries a message. If you can decode this language correctly, you can gain an understanding beyond what is verbally expressed. First, let's talk about the importance of eye contact. Eyes, like other parts of the body, are an honest tool of communication. While physical features like hips and breasts convey broader, genetic-level messages, the eyes reveal immediate emotions, trust, curiosity, and interest. How does a woman's gaze perceive you? Does she show trust and interest, or does she remain distant? If her eyes are seeking you, evaluating you, and showing openness, combined with the other signals from her body, you can recognize a state filled with trust and desire. One of the most important aspects of body language is posture and movement. A woman naturally positions herself in a way that feels most comfortable. For example, a protective woman generally exhibits an open and balanced posture. Her shoulders are relaxed, and her movements are controlled and fluid. This posture conveys confidence and stability both to herself and to those around her. On the other hand, a hunter-type woman moves dynamically, quickly, and purposefully. Every movement expresses freedom and independence. Observing these two postures helps you understand how to approach her: patience and stability for a protective woman, and flexibility and challenge for a hunter woman. We also shouldn't forget the language of touch. The female body responds most effectively to touch, but the timing and quality of that touch are crucial. It's not just physical contact, it's also a way to establish an emotional connection. Breasts, hips, and hands give signals of trust and desire through touch. A protective woman responds positively to gentle, considerate touch. A touch filled with security and love strengthens the emotional bond. A hunter woman, however, finds excitement in carefully executed touch that tests her boundaries. A careless or rushed touch can break trust and negatively impact the relationship. It's also important to revisit body scent. Pheromones and natural body odors are the most honest indicators of subconscious compatibility between a woman and a man. If a woman's natural scent attracts you, this is a sign of hormonal and genetic harmony. Many men overlook this. Social habits and perfumes can mask natural signals. Therefore, recognizing and paying attention to natural scent is a key way to understand if she feels comfortable and secure around you. Another crucial point to consider while learning to read nonverbal cues is rhythm and energy alignment. A woman's movement speed, speaking pace, and breathing reflect her internal energy. A protective archetype generally emits balanced and steady energy. Her rhythm is consistent and predictable. A hunter archetype, however, carries more variable, sudden, and exciting energy. Understanding this energy allows you to synchronize with her and choose the right approach. For example, a calm and steady approach will clash with a high-energy hunter woman, while an overly fast or aggressive pace will create anxiety for a balanced, protective woman. Reading emotional signals also involves attention to lips and facial expressions. Lips are not just about sexuality, they are also related to emotional openness. Full lips indicate that a woman feels her emotions deeply and wants to share them. Thin lips, on the other hand, suggest a more controlled and selective approach. However, lips and facial expressions should not be evaluated in isolation, they must be considered alongside other bodily signals. A woman's voice is another essential element. The tone, rhythm, and intensity of her voice reflect her mood and desire. A deep and soft voice conveys confidence and awareness of sexuality, while a high-pitched, melodic voice shows a need for protection and attention. Paying attention to these cues helps guide your approach more accurately. The voice, therefore, is not just a communication channel, it is a guide to understanding her mental and emotional state. Let's revisit tightness and muscle responses. This topic is often misunderstood by many men. Tightness is not merely a physical attribute, it is related to the trust a woman feels in you and how comfortable she is in your presence. If her muscles feel loose, it is often due to fear, anxiety, or psychological blocks. Here, it's important to stay patient, create a secure environment, and guide attention in the right direction. Assessing only the physical response is not enough, understanding her emotional and psychological state is crucial. By combining all the signals you receive from a woman's body, you can see her as a whole. From her hips, you can understand her lifestyle, from her breasts, her emotional nature, from her voice, hidden desires, from her lips, her approach to pleasure and life, from her natural scent, her compatibility, and from her muscle responses, her trust. Correctly interpreting these 6 keys gives you the chance to find not just a partner but also a friend, a companion, and a lifelong ally. It's important to note that these observations should be made impartially. Labeling a woman's body as good or bad, or right or wrong, distracts you and weakens your observational skills. Instead, focus solely on gathering information and adapting to her. This approach fosters deeper understanding and empathy in both relationships and life in general. Now it's time to put what we've learned into practice. The first step is observation. Take note of her movements, posture, voice, lips, and scent. This awareness helps you understand messages that aren't visible at first glance. The second step is adaptation. Adjust your approach and communication based on what you observe. Be patient and steady with a protective woman, and flexible and ready to challenge with a hunter woman. The third step is feedback. Watch her reactions and refine your behavior accordingly. This is a continuous cycle of learning and adaptation. Finally, remember that this skill is not limited to sexual or romantic relationships. Understanding a woman's body correctly helps create deep bonds, foster trust, and maintain harmony in every area of life. This awareness makes you a more conscious, empathetic, and effective individual. In summary, hips, breasts, voice, lips, scent, and muscle responses are not just physical traits, they provide clues about a woman's inner world, desires, and level of trust. Using these 6 elements, you can perceive the silent messages she sends and respond appropriately. In doing so, you gain not only a partner but also a true source of support and guidance in your life. With this knowledge, it's time to evaluate your own observations and experiences. Have you been able to accurately read the signals sent by a woman's body? Which cues reached you most strongly? Which aspects misled you, and which observations served as a guide? Your answers to these questions will not only improve your relationships but also enhance your understanding of yourself and those around you. Reading the female body is an art, but it is an art of interpreting a language that nature has given. The more careful and patient you are, the deeper and more accurate your understanding will become. This journey allows you to go beyond superficial looks, form genuine connections with women, and gain wisdom that lasts a lifetime, both romantically and in life.